a new world of gods and monsters.
He's alive!
Here's Johnny.
What's your favorite scary movie?
Oh, I'm telling you, brother, it's a frightful sight. See what goes on Halloween night.
Hello, and we are back. Episode 18 of Why We Love Horror, where we're going to be talking Children of the Corn 2023 or 2020, whichever one you want to decide of the year, and Beware Children at Play, 2 movies about children that like to fuck up adults. John, Melissa, how are you doing today?
Pretty good. Just like last week, we're going to get both sides of the coin. You know, it's going to happen this week.
Yeah.
Yeah, not great, but I'm here.
That is fair. Let's just get straight into it. Let's start with Children of the Corn 2023.
Children of the Corn.
Who would like to go for the very simple plot of this movie?
Okay.
Go for it.
Much like a lot of Middle America right now, the town of Rillstone is it's a depressed community. You know, an agricultural community at one time, known for its corn. Then Big Corn came in, and you know they poisoned the crops. All the people now they're poor. They hate life, and then now there's an opportunity for the government to come in and subsidize things again. But the kids are like, nah, I got a different idea. And that's where we start off in this movie.
Straight off the bat, before we get into spoilers, I will bring up that little girl who plays Eden, Kate Moyer, I guess, Moyer, something like that. Yeah. Did great with it. I thought she was fucking great. She held the movie with what she had. Like, holding this movie was very difficult, to say the least, especially holding it off with all the sequels.
She went for it.
Children of the Corn. And yeah, she went for it, and I think she succeeded on what she wanted to do with the role. What did you guys feel about at least Eden in this movie?
I mean, she's definitely by far the best part. I would be curious to see her in a different film with a better script. But yeah, no, I thought she was solid in her performance. But yeah, I mean, it was rough what she was working with.
In a film that's more than just a concept, it would be freaking great. I also neglected to mention the movie cold opens with very irresponsible people accidentally killing a bunch of children. That also happens right in the start of the movie.
Yes.
One kid has a classic Children of the Corn kind of response. You know, not spoiling anything yet. It does like a classic Children of the Corn thing. He starts killing adults, and the farmers decide we're going to subdue this kid by pumping the building full of like animal tranquilizer, and they just kill all the kids in the building. So very Middle America. There you go. Sorry, Middle America, but very Middle America.
I will say, them trying to go a different route with the origin of Children of the Corn, with the whole point of this movie, based off the 84 and even based off the, what was it, 2009 or was it 2011? It was 2009 or 2011. Yeah, something around there, where they tried it again. They went a completely different route with this one, and the concept of it, I liked how they were trying something different. Did it work? No, not really. But
they did back into the same. It tied back into the same stuff.
Yeah.
So it was like a fake out, like novel. It was fake out novelty. It's like, nah, it's still the same plot.
Yeah, the first half, I saw like where they were going was different, and then once it gets into that second half, it just, like John said, retreads into everything, with the exception of having they basically put the 2 adults and put them into 2 teenagers, pretty much in this. That's basically what they did. They took Linda Hamilton and forgot the fucking guy's name in the original, but they took.
We'll look that up.
Look that up while we're doing that. They took them and they put them into 2 children in this one and had them go through basically the same shit that they're doing, with the exception of holding off children. They were holding off the parents instead. But yeah, let's just go.
Peter Horton.
Peter Horton, thank you, Peter Horton. But
I've
yeah,
never gotten that. It's
let's
not a
get
trivia question.
right into this of the major plot of this movie. John, what did you think of how they went with it?
Plot holes you could drive a truck through sideways, kids. Let me tell you. For one, I'm willing to suspend disbelief. I am a horror fan in general. I'm willing to suspend disbelief. I do not believe a bunch of elementary school kids are going to like literally ambush a bunch of adults and get the upper hand on them. I don't.
Yeah,
That's going to happen. That happens in this movie a lot. Like these kids are genius, unstoppable mercenaries, and like there's no warning. And the stuff they pull off, like they're driving backhoes, they're rigging gallows. It's like out of nowhere. Like, and they were just normal kids a little while ago.
yeah.
That's my first complaint. I'll kick it over to anybody else.
Melissa, how about you?
I'm just struggling to even find the words. Like, this movie was absolutely terrible. Like, I mean, I'm glad you guys kind of liked the concept. I didn't. Like, nothing in this movie worked. The acting is terrible. The concept is terrible. It really just, I will say, it puts you right into it. Like, but it doesn't make sense. Like, it just, like, I feel like we definitely missed, I don't know if it was like an editing choice. I don't know if it was script revisions. I don't know if it's a lot of different things, but nothing made sense, like, in this film, like, in regards to the plot.
Yeah.
There's like no motivation behind anything. People acted weird in situations. I don't even know. And I honestly don't, it was so forgettable, except one part, which I know we'll get to, that like, I don't really remember much of it at all. And I feel like, I don't know if they're like trying to go for like commentary on like, I don't know, like the planet that we live in now, and like environmental kind of stuff, but it did not work if that's what they're like trying to go for.
I think that was like the actual point. I think that was the actual point of the movie. I think the point of the movie was this is a hard-hitting ecological commentary, and they ran with that for like a good 90 seconds, and they just forgot. I also want to point out, I'm an adult. I'm an able-bodied adult, and if you're pouring dirt on me, I'll climb out of the fucking hole I'm in pretty easily. I want you guys to know that. I'll climb out of that hole. Well, if I'm awake, at least. These are awake adults having dirt slowly pouring on them, and they don't even think to boost each other out of the pit. Like, I understand it's a horror movie. That's bullshit.
Yeah. And them only taking, that's the other thing, is the plot holes of it, including that one where they only take half the adults and put them in that hole instead of just fucking all of them. If you're going to do it, just take them all and take them all out within one shot. What the fuck you taking half of them for?
And then the mom's like dead, but she's buried alive, but she's so close, she's close enough to the surface that she's lying on her stomach with her hand out. Well, were you really buried alive if your kid can hold your fucking hand after you've been buried alive? I don't think so. Like, everything made me angry. Like, every little thing. I was like, and then this. But that not the thing that made me the most angry yet. We haven't gotten there yet.
Yeah.
With regards to the kids overpowering the parents at every regard, be it psychological wise or physical wise, came ridiculous when they would have to basically knock them out just to not even show how they were able to pull all these fuckers to that hole to begin with.
How did they get them all in the jail cell? Like, some of those dudes are big fat dudes. There were some heavy hitters in there, overall wearing house boys, and they put them in the jail. I don't know how they did that.
Yeah, they show a couple of them with a couple of weapons, but even with the amount of weapons those kids have, with the size of some of those adults, one adult may get hit. The rest of them are tackling these kids to the fucking ground. Yes.
Beware, children of play gets it right.
Yes.
Anyway, another thing is like, there's the scene where like, okay, the heroine has friends, and she's like, okay, you and you go for help, right?
Yeah.
A normal thing, right? Somehow, with no knowledge that these girls were leaving town, like they get like intercepted and killed, right? Now, if you have the wherewithal to know people are leaving town and kill them. Why wouldn't you kill the other girl too? She's the conspirator. Kill her too. And they just don't. Again.
They leave her throughout this movie, and especially to the very end where the one thing I'll say about the Eden character is that she's got the cattle gun. Just shoot her in the fucking face and just finish it. Yeah. Why are you waiting? Why?
They tease the freaking No Country for Old Men like pneumatic thing, and they never use it. You missed an opportunity there.
And I'm sorry, and maybe this is dumb, but I was like, nothing was making sense. But was she wearing a red wig at some point? Eden?
Yes, because she's the Red Queen. Oh, they tie in Alice in Wonderland too.
Yes. The Alice in Wonderland tie-in.
Okay, because I'm not gonna lie, I was like, who's this red wig girl? And then it was gone at some point, and then I was like, wait, is that Eden? I didn't realize it was the same person for a second. And I was having a hard time following this movie. I'm not even lying. Staying engaged.
Where they first kind of let on that the kids aren't all right when they're playing pirates or whatever.
Oh
right?
Yeah.
And they're having the one kid walk the plank. How is that kid supposed to survive that fall? What was the game? Was that kid supposed to die?
I have a feeling that she wanted that kid to fucking die. That's what I think that they do not explain it well, but from her expressions throughout it all, it just seems like she wants that child to fucking die right away. But yeah, let's get into the whole crop. It's Children of the Corn. We got to talk about the crops of the corn and the fucking corn monster.
Oh my god!
They do a Blair Witch 2016 and decide to just go, let's just show the fucking monster in the most ridiculous. Even the effects are shit. They're not good at all. I understand they're working on a low budget.
It definitely was CGI at some point.
Yeah. 100% was.
And that looks like maybe it's real, but it's like a shitty. It's like the Crooked Man from The Conjuring 2, for 30 minutes straight. It's crazy. It's shit.
You did not need that entire section of the fucking corn monster. You didn't need. You just need the creepy kids. That's creepy enough. You don't need the fucking corn monster taking people out. It's just the corn psychologically taking over the kids' minds. That's creepy enough. You don't need an actual fucking monster.
He Who Walks Behind the Rose from the original, where it was just clearly like a presence, and it was that was way more effective than this fucking thing.
Yeah,
it was stupid.
Oh my god, yeah, I was screaming at my screen, and I also I was cackling, I was laughing hysterically when it appeared. I just couldn't even believe it. I was like, I hate everything.
I would have preferred a man in a corn suit over this dude.
Yeah.
Honestly, yes. It was terrible. It's terrible.
I would have preferred a mascot of a Nebraska local AA baseball team over whatever the hell that thing was. Yeah. But now, speaking of the cornfield stuff, right?
Yes.
Let's talk about the whatever Bolin is the girl, the hero. Yes. Her how she wins, right? So they douse her in gasoline, kerosene, whatever the hell it is, right?
Yes.
And she's so dripping with kerosene that she runs a half mile, right? And leaves a trail of kerosene behind her.
Yes.
Yet, when she drops a lighter to light the kerosene, she doesn't go up in flames at all. It's only where she ran. If she should have gone up flat.
All of them should have been gone at that point. The car should have exploded. Yeah. All of them should have been fucking toast at that point. And that's what I thought was going to happen. I thought she was going to light it, and that was her end game was if I'm going, we're all going together. And that's what I thought was going to happen, and then it just goes the opposite direction where she came from. I'm like, what the fuck? Why is she not being lit on fire right now?
Then it becomes like Domino Rally. It's oh, come on.
Yeah, and then also the whole conversation leading up to that was so obvious to what was going to happen, and I'm just like, okay, Eden's supposed to be this really smart girl that's I just didn't understand how you're not picking up what she's throwing down right now, really Like,
Yeah.
it's so fucking stupid.
But don't worry, the spoiler is they do the old classic chestnut at the end where, the good guys don't really win because Eden comes back as like a zombie corn thing and
Oh
kills
my
them.
god.
Like,
Yeah.
unnecessary. Not every stupid, like, mid-level to low-level horror movie has to do that. We don't need that.
Oh my
It was
gosh. Yeah,
okay.
and also like, again, going back to the dialogue, but it like made me laugh. I think it was Eden who had said it. She's like, "It's past my bedtime," or something. I was like, stop it right now. And I think she like kills somebody or something like after that. I was like, I hate everything. I hate it.
I think also we brought up a little bit about the effects, and it really shows how the CGI did not work when Bo's friend, the guy, gets like fucking clocked with that pipe, and then when he falls, it's just some of the worst CGI blood face, like half, like even not even half a face, but like just a part of a jaw that you see. It just looked and went, that's where this would have actually worked with practical effects. You bring practical effects in there, it's definitely cheaper than the CGI you used.
Yeah.
You could have made that scene look so fucking great with that.
I would have preferred a early 80s mannequin full of jelly over
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But yeah, overall, do you think the Children of the Corn series should be left in the corn from now on? Or do you think that it deserves another shot after all this time? From 84 to now, do you think it's time to bury Children of the Corn? Possibly.
So I just because I'm assuming that you all have probably seen the whole franchise or most of it or some of it. I've only seen the original and now this film. I'm fine with them being done with it. I do think like to be the most effective way of telling the story, I do think it would be good as like a mini series maybe, but like at the end of the day, like I'm fine with it just not coming back.
Let me give just a small bit of history. Like, this is based on a Stephen King story, but
Yeah.
it's not like The Stand or It. There aren't like thousands of pages of text. Children of the Corn is like 8 pages long, if that. It's like maybe it's 4 pages long. It's a very, very, very short story.
Yes.
I think I'm wrong. I think it is like 4 or 5 pages long. Like literally almost nothing happens in that story. Everything we have on film, Children of the Corn wise, is basically like they're taking license with like the original work. So everything we have is based off of the 84 version, I guess, which is not really Stephen King's vision for the story at all. So There we go. We started off a few steps behind. Though 84 is great. I would also recommend watching the second one because it's funny as hell. And then it kind of goes downhill from there.
Yeah, you definitely Isaac was the standouts of the original and even the sequel. Like when he popped in some of the sequels, he was always good with what he does. And same thing with this new girl, Eden. I think with her presence, definitely carried what was just not a fun time movie at all. But her presence kind of carried it throughout. So I'll give it that. But yeah, let's get straight to the rating. Let's start with Melissa this time. Melissa, what would you give Children of the Corn 0 out of 5 VHS tapes?
As you could tell through this whole conversation, I had so much positivity to share. I will give it 1 videotape.
Oh,
I think, I just think the dialogue is terrible, script is terrible, overall the acting is terrible. Like, there's really not a lot of redeemable qualities about this film, but it did make me laugh my ass off when that corn monster appeared. So I will give it that. Also, very missed opportunity. I feel like in this franchise that why haven't they like collaborated with Korn, the band? And just like go full out metal, like
Just
balls to the walls, like killing adults. Like that would be awesome. Just saying.
I actually like that idea. I think that would have been interesting. And do not. I'll go next. I was gonna give this a 2, but with Eden coming in there and doing what she did, I'll bump it up to 2.5. It's basically my 1.5. Of your guys' terms would be 1.5. So 2.5 for me. I think she has some positives in there that kept the movie from being complete shit, but overall the story just wasn't there for me. The 84 definitely did it better, and yeah, I think the franchise should end by now. John, how about you?
I can't wait to see a movie that Mike rates a 1. I'm waiting for that. I'm also in straight up 1 videotape territory for Children of the Corn. Eden is literally the only bright spot. Maybe the preacher dude because he's wacky. He's not a good actor. He's just killing it at whatever the hell he's doing. That's about it. Like I said, watch it. If you're a logical person, you will get angry. You will pause the movie. You will punch a wall, and then you'll come back and finish it, like I did.
I like it.
Yeah.
Which then brings us over to the other movie where kids fuck up adults, and yeah, all hell breaks loose because of it. Beware Children at Play.
These aren't children. They are demons.
Which who wants to go for the plot of this movie?
I mean, I could try. I don't know. So it begins with a father and son camping, and things go awry. And fast forward, children have been missing, and it's weird, and things get really hectic from there. I don't know what else to say.
That's
So without spoiling it too much.
Oh yeah, no, that's pretty much the plot of this movie. Yeah, this movie is a trauma-based movie, which yeah, 1000% you can see it from beginning to end that this is definitely trauma. 1000%. The opening speaking of the dad, you just see the dad go. You see one of the first parents cut in complete half. And you just see half of his body, and he's still rolling around. Fucking great. The practical effects here, fucking fantastic. That's what I wanted out of these type of movies, is those practical effects coming in. But yeah, we're just gonna get straight into spoilers with this because nothing really happens up until the ending, which is spoilerific. So yeah, we're gonna go spoilers right away. Let's start with John. John, what did you think of Beware?
I want to take note that this movie takes place in southern New Jersey. Not that I'm from northern New Jersey, but that is a very southern New Jersey vibe. So they killed that. That is exactly if you drive off the Garden State Parkway underneath exit 90, that's what you deserve. That is exactly what's going to happen to you. Don't do that. So they got that. They nailed that. Aside from that, like a lot of really charactery, like, late 80s character acting is going on in this movie. Trauma character acting is going on in this movie. So if you're into that, if you're into like squinty hillbillies and people that don't trust city folk and they just constantly mock the guy because he's a fancy book writing guy, like throughout the entire movie, like then you're gonna have a good time. It's a fun movie. A lot of fun stuff happens. There's one scene I think that didn't need to be in there. I mean, I'll just flat out say, I think like the rape scene can be crossed out.
Yeah.
I probably
1000%.
I probably would have felt better about this movie. It felt like it was just tacked on and unnecessary. They could have just said it and not shown it. I'd have been fine. Everything else though is aces in this movie.
Melissa, how did you feel about Beware Children at Play?
I wasn't as positive. I will say it was fun. It was much better than our last movie by a million. I mean, I guess at the end of the day, I think the kills were a lot of fun, and I think the practical effects are awesome. But I mean, it is just god awful acting. The editing is terrible. The music is, and yeah, the rape scene was definitely not needed. Also, the conversation of the found niece professing that her attraction to her uncle was not needed, and also indicating, "Can you do that to me?" I was like, "Oh my lord!" I was like, "What is this movie?" But yeah, I mean, the ending absolutely just because it really went for it. But yeah, I thought this movie was fine. It was a bit rough to watch though. Like I was trying to like enjoy it because I enjoy kind of silly 1980s kind of, like you were saying, character actors and all that fun stuff. But I don't know. This was it was a bit rough for me.
I will agree that the rape scene and then the uncle niece scene subplot there definitely unneeded. You didn't really need that to do this movie at all. However, I agree with John that the kills are fucking incredible. The ridiculous trauma acting I enjoy, but it is not for everyone for sure. If you haven't seen like Toxic Avenger and shit like that, and you don't know this type of acting, you're in for a wild fucking ride. But yeah, let's get into what we all want when we see a movie about kids wanting to fuck up adults. Is you want these adults to go, fuck it, we're just gonna murder the shit out of you guys in the most ridiculous, vicious fucking ways imaginable. And they just go for it. Like, one of my favorite let's just set this up. Basically, the uncle and niece show up there to get his child. He grabs his child. When the adults show up, they followed him. They shoot him in the face, killing him. And then the adults go, fuck it. Let's just murder the shit out of these children, which are some of their own kids. And
point of order, the stunt coordinator, if there was one, on this movie, put squibs on children.
Yes.
Like, I was like, holy shit. Like, like there were legit squibs on children. But go ahead.
One of my favorite kills in this sequence is when one of the kids falls down and he turns around and it's a guy with a shotgun and a guy with a pistol and they blow his fucking head off. It's just fucking gone. Right then and there, I fucking love it. Let's go. This is what I'm here for.
A child, everyone. A child. There's also a child who is impaled to a post with a pitchfork through his neck.
And you
just
see
like in Friday the 13th Part 3, but it's a child.
Yes. You bow and arrow to the chest of some kids. And then you see, like, you know that it's a movie where they're trying not to actually hurt these kids. And you see one scene of a parent come up to a kid and barely glance the kid with the fucking knife, and then the kid just falls. That's the most less vicious part of this entire sequence. The rest of it is just, let's just grab that big ass machete, put it against the kid's neck, and just show it.
Yeah,
going into the kid's neck. It
also
crazy.
Goes on for quite a while, because then there's kids that are like trying to get away, like the little kids like trying to get away, and they just shoot him, and I'm like, oh, not the little fat kid too. Oh.
Little chubby kid.
Yeah, they just straight up put a gun in that child's mouth.
Yes.
And ba-boom. Like, I'm like, okay.
And they put a squib on the back of that kid's head and said, just be calm.
Melissa, what did you think of that sequence at the end?
I mean, it definitely was the best part of the film, which is terrible for me to say, but it's like so taboo to see children die, but it's at the same time, I mean, you like want to see it in a film like this.
Yeah.
No,
that's what you kind of pay for, is you want to see the kids murder the shit out of these adults, but then you want to actually see the end where the adults actually get their payback on these children.
But what are they getting payback for? They're getting payback for them kidnapping their children who are part of the children they are killing.
Yeah, there's really no payback for them on this one, for sure.
How dare you get kidnapped? When I say, like, it could have just been like a Killing Fields type, like, firing squad assassination, but no, each kid gets their own individual, like, gift wrapped and signed death. Chef's kisses all around like that.
What would be your favorite kill out of that sequence, John?
Out of that sequence? Oh,
yeah.
Wow. Honestly, can I say, and like some of these kids, like, I'm sure they weren't doing like a ton of takes, to be honest with you.
Oh, yeah.
But some of these kids really, really sold it. I got to say the pitchfork to the kid's neck. And that kid sold the shit out of that. Like, there's like the shock. Like, can't believe I'm dying. Why would an adult hurt me? Like, you could read it in that kid's eyes. That kid's a great actor, whoever he is. I'm sure you're older than me now, but like that you did a great job back when you were 9.
Melissa, how about you? Did you have?
Yeah, no. There was like a few times I was trying to say it, that one was my favorite death as well, the pitchfork. Because I completely agree. Also, I will say, once they're all dead, and it kind of just like, again, this is a pretty long sequence. Like everyone gets their own special deaths, and then it just kind of like pans the camera to all the now dead children, and you can definitely see them breathing.
Yeah, 1,000%.
So I loved that.
I think one kid actually opens his eyes too, like he's like, which is great.
But yeah, no, pitchfork kid was my favorite.
Yeah, I would say anybody that's is actually watching this and hasn't seen the movie, go into it and just get to that last 10 minutes, and it will be all worth it.
Yeah,
Like everything you go through with the movie, all the like the very rough moments of this movie, get through all those, get to the last 10 minutes, it'll be all fucking worth it.
it paints the rest of the movie in a different light. And I will say another good thing about trauma movies and like kind of low budget movies in general is there are goofs, as they call them on IMDb. There's goofs. Like there's like the boom is in the shot. There's shadows of crew members throughout the whole movie. They don't give a shit. They do it this one take, great, cut, print, let's go. Like you can tell that was going on. And some of the performances, like especially the dad in the beginning, no notes. You know, they just let that guy do whatever he wants.
Yeah.
That guy lost his shit beautifully. And then also, again, another good kill we didn't talk about is the reporter. When she gets scared, and instead of running towards her car, which is very close, she runs away from her car into the woods. And they just and the kids literally just do like a Looney Tunes Acme. They hold up a spiked board, and she runs right into it. Fantastic.
And then right before that, she sees the pie lady as like a scarecrow looking thing with like the rat, which I hate rats. So that I was like, like eating her face.
And that's another sequence that once she lands on that fucking thing, because they let it go and she just lands on top of it. Yeah. Great fucking effects. Yeah. Right through the butt. I fucking love it. It is bloody. It is right there. It's ridiculous. Like it is something out of Roadrunner Coyote.
Yeah, right.
Like territory for sure. But it is fucking hilarious at the same time.
At least the kids in this movie have like the right. It's not like Children of the Corn. These kids have the right like rudimentary understanding of like how to kill somebody, and it's all like crude stuff, which is fine.
Yeah.
And like you said, the death you mentioned before, the guy gets cut in half by like the scythe. Right. Unfortunately, that guy was another great character actor who was totally committed to being like the scummy Bible salesman. Yeah. Killed off, gone too soon. Like great character as well.
Any last thoughts on Beware Children I Play from either of you?
I had a thought, but I lost it. Sorry.
Yeah, I think somebody had had some commentary, and like I kind of agree with this too, and it might actually. If that last scene wasn't so good, like, you know, like I might like dwell more on the fact that like a lot of the themes in the movie are like really shitty. Like both wives are horrible, like man-hating shrews. Like they like, indiscriminately hate. And like there's no notes given to these ladies at all. Like maybe tone it down. You're like you're not the bad guy. And then the kids also are not, with the exception of the lead kid, not really evil, just like there. It's like, you're like, oh, it's Yankees hat kid. Oh, it's fat kid. Oh, it's girl number 1, 2, and 3. Like, you know, it's just the one kid who's a bastard. Yeah. But those kids get like shit stomped real bad at the end of the movie.
I remembered what I was gonna say. I mean, you never. This movie definitely leaves you with a lot of questions about like what's going on here. It's kind of implied that there's like some kind of evil entity that's like taking over these kids or something. So interesting, but again, it doesn't. I'm okay not knowing all the answers with this one. It's fine. But it was kind of interesting what they're maybe trying to go for. Also, I loved the ending freeze frame shot of the girl.
Sleepaway Camp ending.
Love to see it.
They actually do make like a half-hearted like classical literature, philosophical bullshit explanation why the kids are like brainwashed. Like it's because of Beowulf. We can't trust the Anglo-Saxons, and nobody can say Anglo-Saxon. Like the Anglo-Saxons. Like that's a plot point that very trauma. But yeah, that's the explanation. A poem that people love too much turned these kids insane.
Into like turning them into basically, I think they describe. I don't think they ever describe it in the movie, but they say it as a cannibalistic cult throughout all like the marketing. Is it's supposed to be like this cannibalistic cult in the woods.
They're drinking blood. They have the alliterative chanting.
Yes,
like bite the flesh and drink the blood.
Yeah.
Gulp something.
Yeah, gulp the guts, whatever. Yeah, they and the one wife is like an expert. It's like, look, it's the classical alliteration, man. Like she's explaining to everybody. It's like, okay, yeah, you go. Then she dies like 2 minutes later. All right.
Yeah.
But yes, I will start with this one for the rating. I had a fucking blast with this movie, and up until the ending where I just went, I fucking love the shit out of this. They went for something that no one else really ever has the guts to do, and that is to brutally murder vicious children. And they do it in such fun ways. So I'm going 4.5 VHS tapes. I absolutely love the shit out of this movie. I will rewatch this movie again for sure. Let's go, John. What did you have?
Yeah, if the mid-credit scene from Step Brothers was a horror movie, it is Beware Children of Play. I kind of agree with a lot of the criticisms Melissa had. Like, before the ending, I was like, this is like a clear-cut, like 2-star movie. But that ending, full 1.5 stars. It's 3.5 videotapes from me. That ending alone, where like you stand up after that movie and you go, I watched that and like, bravo to those stunt guys. Whoever I didn't memorize names of the stunt people. Whoever rigged up those kids, bravo, not killing any of those kids. You put explosives on children. I'm just putting that out there. Like, you did that, and you didn't kill anybody. Good for you. You guys are the real heroes.
Melissa, what would you rate?
I will say I laughed a lot. I really did. And I loved the kills and the practical effects. With that being all said, I mean, I had problems with it, so I will give it a 2.
Not bad at all. I totally understand. Yeah, like there are major issues with this movie for sure. Very, very ridiculous acting, very ridiculous plot points, and very rough plot points. But this movie for sure had 3 different ratings across the board.
Go ahead, sorry.
Oh no, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like, I wanted it to be like a bad movie that it's so great, but it just felt like it was a bad movie that was pretty good, which that's why it like kind of sucks, because it's like I really wanted to like it more, but it just, again, the ending definitely put it up more for me, but it didn't quite get to the level that y'all were at.
What I would say is, watch the first hour and 20 minutes, queue up Raining Blood by Slayer on your CD player, and then hit play and just watch the last 5 minutes.
Perfect.
That's a great way to end that. So yes, that was a review of Children of the Corn and Beware Children at Play. Now, usually we would go into what we're going to be doing next week, but we got something special. Now, if you looked at the thumbnail that Melissa made, she had a little secret in there. So we're going to do a very quick review of Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey.
We used to be friends. Why are you doing this, please? I would have never left, I swear.
I'll let John.
Piece of shit. Oh, sorry, guys.
I'll let John shut this one off because John has some thoughts on this movie for sure.
It's not even Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. It is this entire production company, ITN Jagged Edge Distribution. I'm looking right. ITN Distribution and Jagged Edge Production. I'm looking right at you guys, whoever you are. Fuck you guys. You have put out so much garbage. You have like a bucket of 10 shitty actors. You recycle into every movie. You disgrace the genre. Everything you do. There's something disgraceful in every movie you do. Like you don't do anything well. I know you're not going to stop, and I know I'm going to keep watching your movies. So for that, I hate you. And please comment. Get in these comments. I'd love to speak to you.
Melissa, what did you think of Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey?
It was an experience. That's for sure. It's like a complete bastardization of Winnie the Pooh. Yeah, I was a bit speechless. I will say the narrative was not there. There was like no motivation or understanding of why these killings were happening. It just kind of was. It's also Winnie the Pooh and Piglet.
Yeah.
That
it wasn't a pig anymore. Apparently, it's a different species. But I digress.
Yeah. I also like how we are to believe that these are a pig and a bear and not a man in a mask. These are like we're supposed to believe that, which I did not. I do love that Winnie the Pooh can summon bees or like controls bees. I did love that.
The dude is dripping. He is never not moist, dripping with honey every scene. Just dripping off of him.
Yeah. Yeah, I will say, I mean, the deaths were okay, but I mean, it did one of the things I absolutely hate, which is CGI blood, a lot in this movie. So I was very upset about that.
Wait till you watch the rest of these movies this production company makes. They do CGI snow.
Oh God!
Because you can't film in winter year round. If you need to film a winter movie in the summer, just CGI snow over like lush green landscapes. It happens. Too much, guys. It's stupid. Just film in the winter like regular people.
I had the same thoughts as both of you guys did. Yeah, 100%. For you to believe that it's an actual bear and a fucking pig doing this is ridiculous because it is just two people in fucking suits. It just looks like they just went, you know what? We're gonna just put on a fucking bear mask and a pig mask. We're gonna go around killing people. You know what? That could have been an interesting fucking concept for just a slasher that they just put on a fucking bear fucking mask and a pig mask. But no, they want you to believe that this is Winnie the Pooh and Piglet going on a fucking rampage when it does not look like it whatsoever. It's ridiculous.
There's a lot of great movies of people wearing animal masks, just killing people. Just
yes.
It's been done.
Yeah, this movie is just it sucks. Like nothing really is redeemable about it at all.
I will talk about two things it does that I that are okay. Right?
Yeah.
One of the things that ITN and Jagged Edge does on some movies is they have like this opening kind of animated thing. And I will say like the 5-minute animated opening is actually like really well done. And they've done that several times. If that was the whole movie, great. That's charming even. It's dark, but it's charming. And then even like the concept of the first 15 minutes where like, sure, Christopher Robin abandons Winnie the Pooh and all the guys in the 100 Acre Wood. Then he comes back and they're just like now they're starving and they're deranged and they kidnap Christopher Robin. If that was just like a 15-minute movie where they actually got like two good actors, I actually might have enjoyed that too. But that's not what they did. They decided to just run this into the fucking ground is what they did. And then they didn't stop. They kept going. They hit bedrock and they kept going is what happened in this movie.
Yeah, they definitely saw that the copyright was gonna go off on Winnie the Pooh and Piglet, and they just went, you know what, we're just gonna make this cheap, very knockoff movie really quick to get it out the moment that thing drops, and that's what it did. Because that trailer dropped a day after that copyright fucking ended. They dropped that trailer, and they went, "This is what we're doing." And again, if another filmmaker, it's like John said, either it was 15 minutes or another filmmaker and another filmmaking group was behind this, and they put some thought into this, 100%, it could have been a great adaptation of a horror version of Winnie the Pooh. But what we got was just
We're getting more.
Yeah, we're definitely getting more from this.
We're getting a sequel to that.
Yes.
And I'll get to that in a second. We're getting a Bambi one.
Yes.
And there's another one that's going to be Berserk. And all right, two more things. I'm just going to keep just throwing two more things and two more things and two more things until I finally have a fucking stroke and die. One, the scene where they clearly rip off Halloween Kills really pisses me off. Like, Winnie the Pooh, this unstoppable killing machine. Yes, that Winnie the Pooh is surrounded by rough, tough British people with weapons, and they go to town. They hit him in the back of the knee. They're beating the crap out of him. But all of a sudden, it's Winnie the Pooh, and then Winnie the Pooh just kicks the shit out of them. It's a direct ripoff of like the Tommy Doyle scene at the end of Halloween Kills. And then secondly, they do the whole like shameless, like, we're not even thinking it's gonna maybe be a sequel. We're just gonna end the movie, and you can tune in for part 2, which is just like, go to hell. Like, you go to hell. That's how I felt. Like, how dare you?
Melissa, any last thoughts on Winnie the Pooh?
Really, my only last thought is, I guess Winnie the Pooh is quite the power slap. Which I did like that, I guess, to a certain degree. But it was ridiculous.
He can also drive a car, which is also yeah. He's been living in the woods his whole life. He's a cannibalistic teddy bear, but he knows how to drive a car. So let's not forget.
Yeah, I will agree with John that if it was just an animated sequence at the beginning, fucking A, I would have enjoyed it a lot more, for sure. And yeah, the summoning the bees happens in that sequence that John just brought up of the British people getting their ass whooped by Winnie the Pooh. He just summons the bees on one of the fuckers running away. That fucking nowhere. It's fucking ridiculous. But yeah, let's get into what I pretty clear gonna know what's about to happen here. But let's get into the VHS tapes rating of it. Let's start. I'm gonna save John for last on this one. Let's start with Melissa. Melissa, what do you give Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey?
Kind of in between two ratings, but I will just go with 1. Like, cool, good job. You did it. I don't know. Like, it was terrible. It was terrible, but it did make me laugh. So I will give it 1.
And yeah, I'm gonna be giving this a worst rating that I would give any movie on Letterboxd, which my ratings, as I've discussed before, go from 2 and on. I give it a 2. That's it. 2 is basically just nothing to me. It hadn't really nothing redeemable, with the exception of the animated sequence at the beginning and maybe some fun moments here and there. Other than that, yeah, it was nothing. John, how about you?
Let me be slightly positive. I'm going to be slightly positive. I've seen a lot of these ITN Jagged Edge movies, and surprisingly, I am seeing some growth. It's very little, but it is some growth. With that growth, brings you up to a full videotape, one whole videotape. This movie is like, everything about it is bad. It is honestly, it fits right in the pantheon of ITN Jagged Edge. It's right up there with the Tooth Fairy and Dinosaur Hotel and Jack and Jill and the fake Leprechaun and the fake Scarecrow movies and all that bullshit you guys are throwing out there. I still have so much more to watch. I hope we get to review more ITN Jagged Edge, and you guys can see me die live on YouTube.
I like it. So yes, we have come to the end of this episode, which brings us to our next portion. Who would like to talk about the movies that we're going to be discussing next week? Who wants to bring them up?
You go for it, John.
Okay. Well, there's nothing really coming out in the next week or so. Like, and there's a few things coming out, but they're very like indie movies. It's gonna be difficult for us to coordinate that. So we decided that we were going to go into last year. And last year, 2022, a lot of people didn't really know. I mean, some people knew who this director was, but really last year was kind of like a renaissance for this director. He had 2 movies come out that were related to each other. So we are going to be talking about Ty West next week. We're going to talk about Pearl, which a lot of people have seen, a lot of people have loved. And we're going to talk about a movie that he made that a lot of people don't talk about so much. And we're going to talk about The Sacrament, which is one of my favorite Ty West movies. So we're going to talk about both of those movies next week.
Yeah, I'm very excited for next week's episode. I love me some Ty West, and these 2 are definitely some of his best up there. I cannot wait for this. Next week we're doing Pearl, The Sacrament, so make sure to check that out. Make sure to check this out. It's dropping now for us tomorrow at noon Eastern. So yeah, make sure to watch it all day. Make sure to share it around, subscribe, do all that kinds of shit. Tomorrow night, or technically tonight, if you want to call it that, since it's releases, Bar has another set list coming out, so check that out. And we are also, me, Payson, and Nazario have a new show based off Payson's concept of the movie club, the Video Store Movie Club, where we're going to be discussing Pedro Almodovar and 3 of his movies. That's going to be fun to discuss with Nazario, because I know Nazario loves the shit out of that guy, so that's going to be really fun. Late Shift is this Friday, so make sure to check that out. Make sure to jump in if you guys want to actually talk on there. We invite anyone to jump in and give the answer to the question of the night, so make sure to check out the Video Store.
What's the question this week?
It's which fantasy world you would want to live in, be it movie, video game, TV show wise, whatever you have. Any fantasy world you would like to live in, we want to hear your answer to that.
Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. I'm calling him.
No.
I would love to live in that world.
So yeah, make sure to check out all this great content. And yeah, Melissa keeps killing it with these thumbnails. So I can't wait to see what next week's thumbnail is going to be. We will see you all next week for Why We Love Horror.
Why, she wouldn't even harm a fly. Hurry back. Be sure to bring your death certificate.